In this modern world of technology, it seems like nothing is impossible. Now, don't go telling me the list of impossible things, I clearly know those things. It's just a saying, and I hope soon enough there will be things possible that seem impossible right now. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But sometimes we come across things that make us think, how the hell did this even happen? And there are enough of these kinds of structures that we see them and we're like, this is impossible. Even today, we are talking about a structure like this, the tallest man-made structure. If you don't know what we're talking about, then this is a building, and it's in Dubai. Any idea now? If you guessed it, then yes, you are right. And if you were unable to guess it, no problem, I'm here to tell you. Today we're talking about the Burj Khalifa. This structure surprises us every time. We're wondering how these engineers made it. Well, if you are like me, then you would have also asked yourself this question. Don't worry, we are here to tell you how the engineers made the structure. Well, hold on tight because it's going to be a fun ride. As we all know, Burj Khalifa is the tallest man-made structure. The total cost that was consumed in the making of Burj Khalifa is $1.5 billion. Yes, that's the cost of just making one building. A hell of a lot of money. Making the structure wasn't easy. There were many problems and we should be thankful to all these engineers who made it possible. The first problem was time. Yeah, this was a big problem, as the company was asked to make this structure possible in just 6 years. The problem was that designing a structure like this could also take 3 years alone, and if they give designers 3 years, then it wouldn't be possible to build the structure in just 3 years. So at the end of the day, in 2004, engineers started working on the site. They started digging the foundation of the building without the pre-planned design. Yes, that's right. The work on the tallest structure in the world started without a design. The next big problem that these engineers faced was the foundation. When it was time to lay down the foundation, they came across a big problem. Usually big buildings like these get their foundation laid on big rocks underground, usually the bedrock. But when it was about the Burj Khalifa, there wasn't any bedrock down there. There was just sand and small rocks. Now the question was, can engineers rely on these small rocks to stably hold the tallest man-made structure? The engineers just used basic concepts of physics to make the structure stable, and that was friction. The foundation of Burj Khalifa is laid upon 192 solid metal piles. They dug these piles 50 meters inside, and then the whole structure was built on top of these piles. The whole weight of Burj Khalifa is equally distributed upon these 192 solid metal piles. The construction company Emaar was utilized. Yes, now you know it's constructed by the company Emaar. Thank me later. So what was I saying? The company made a contract with a top-level architectural firm in Chicago, but even a firm that had designed 1,000 huge buildings had a tough time designing a building like this. They needed to make a design, a structure, that can stand the weight of millions of tons of concrete, glass, and iron. Also, all the floors should be lit up by natural sunlight, and this building would be 160 floors tall. Well, this firm was one of the best, and they didn't disappoint the construction company by putting in a lot of hard work and dedication. They finally found a solution, and this solution was the buttress structure. This structure was used for the first time in Burj Khalifa only. On the other end of the world, the construction team was continuously working on the site. They were constructing floor after floor, but after reaching a certain height, they came across one more problem. They noticed that the concrete was getting dry, where it reaches the top floor where these workers were working. There was only one solution to this, and that was the concrete suction system. This means that the company laid down a chain of thick pipes from the bottom of Burj Khalifa to the top floor. These pipes were carrying concrete from the foot to the floor they were working on. It wasn't just like some regular concrete. The total concrete weighed as much as 100,000 elephants. They would need something very powerful to pump, and yes, that's what they did. They used the 3 most powerful pumps in the world. After 3 years of hard work, when Burj Khalifa was at about 140 floors, at that point in time, it was already the tallest man-made structure. But now there was a problem. The crane they were using was only able to supply material till 120 floors, and when they found a way to extend the reach, they faced a new problem. This was with the crane operator. Most of the operators refused to work at that height. With no solution to this, the firm hired a crane operator from all over the world, and they were brought to Dubai. They used to speak a different language, but they all had one thing in common. They weren't scared of heights. There was this one worker who used to work 12 hours at 700 meters, and they used to say that even he sleeps in his crane's cabin. The next problem came when there were just 2 years left for the launch. Almost the whole structure was done, but still there weren't any glass panels. There are a total of 24,000 glass panels. When they started installing the glass panels, the inner temperature of the building took a toll due to the harsh heat of Dubai, and the height of the inner temperature reached up to 100 degrees Celsius. And if they chose to use AC for cooling, then it would use 10 times more electricity. Only because of this problem was the work on halt for a total of 18 months. But at the end, the engineer John Zarafa came up with a solution, but he also said this would be a very costly solution. His idea was accepted by the company as there were no other options. He introduced a special kind of glass that can deflect UV rays that are emitted by the sun. But just one glass panel cost around $2,000. They were set up in a factory that was working only on making these glass panels. There were 24,000 panels like this, and they cost around $48 million. Yes, that's just the cost of the glass. It took this factory only 4 months to complete the demand. In the last year of construction, everything was done. Gas was working, water supply was perfect, electricity was well and good. Glass panels were installed, but still, there was something that was missing. As a good book needs a good end, this building also needed an end for the top floor. It was pre-decided to be a metal rod. This rod was supposed to be 136 meters long and weighing 320 tons. There wasn't any crane present that could lift something this big and this heavy at a height of almost 800 meters. At the end of the day, this work had to be done as it now was almost the date of the launch, so the engineers decided to make this rod inside the Burj Khalifa only. They divided this rod into small pieces, lifted them at the heights, and then assembled it over there only. Now everything was done, but due to years of work, there was a ton of dust and construction waste. Now they could easily transport waste from the inside and clean the whole building from the inside. But what can they do about the outside of the building? Because outside shine matters and it's all dirty. Now these engineers tried their best to find a solution, but at the end of the day, there wasn't any. They had to rely on only one thing: manpower. At last, people were sent on the outside of this huge building with the help of ropes and pulleys, and they polished the whole building from the outside. Well, in the end, there are some things that only humans can do. No machines. Only humans. Well, those were all the problems the engineers faced with the construction of the Burj Khalifa. Now you people tell us down in the comments section which problem do you think was the worst one. Please do subscribe to the channel for more interesting and shocking videos like this, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay notified. That was all for today. Until next time, bye-bye.